Last year's EMP fried all watches and clocks. It's a simpler time now, and for most practical purposes, it don't matter what time it is. But this cowboy, I've got a duel at noon, and I don't aim to be late. Hey everybody, this is Praxis, and this is my gravitationally powered EMP Proof clock. Yeah, it's just a Cuckoo clock. I'm making this video because I recently mentioned that I have a love of German-made Cuckoo clocks in a previous video. There was a lot of interest in the comment sections about that, so I thought I'd share a couple of the clocks that I have. I own two of them. I'd love to get a third one, but they're so expensive. It's the kind of thing where I feel like I just can't legitimize getting myself another one. This one behind me I've had for over 20 years at this point. It never needs any real maintenance. I just kind of clean the thing off, blow dust off of the outside of it, out of the inside of it. And aside from that, the only other intervention that I need to do on it is occasionally tweak the time a little bit. You can adjust the speed of these by adjusting where the weight is on the pendulum, and I'm always just kind of tweaking it here and there a little bit. If it's been running a little bit fast that week, I kind of pull the pendulum weight a little bit down. If it's been running a little bit, is that the right way? And if it's been running slow, yeah, you push the pendulum back up. And other than that, all I have to do is reset the weights on the bottom. The weights are what drive the whole thing. That's why it's gravitationally driven. These weights pull down and the chains drive all the gears on the inside. I've got, like I said, this one I've had for probably over 20 years at this point. I've got another smaller one that I have on our second floor. And I just really love these devices because they are made in a way that is just all about quality and being built to last. In a world where people are buying things, actually this is weird, I have it in my pocket because I was doing my Spanish. A lot of devices that people buy, like cell phones, they're not made to last any significant amount of time because with the fickle nature of the public, people are always looking for the new version anyway. So a lot of stuff is only made to last just a couple of years. In this video, I don't want to just talk about Cuckoo clocks though. I want to talk about lots of different ways that you can tell time in an environment where you may not have access to electricity. I was joking about it at the beginning that it's EMP proof, and it is EMP proof, but there are other ways of being able to tell time using devices or methods or techniques that are immune to electromagnetic pulses. So if we ever had another Carrington level event and we were plunged back to the technology of the Old West, you could still tell using these devices when it's going to be high noon. So if you're going to be doing your dueling, you'll know when to do it. Another method of telling what time of day it is using the nuclear fission reaction of the sun to create a shadow on the ground. We're talking about making a sundial. A sundial is an ancient way of telling what time of day it is, and it's really easy to make a sundial. All you essentially need to do is put some kind of a stake or something in the ground that casts a shadow, and just use your watch at a certain time of day, like let's say at noon. Whenever the tip of the shadow is in a certain place, just make a little mark there, and then the next day do the same and the same and the same. One interesting thing that you'll find if you do that is that there's a common perception that the sun at high noon, at 12 o'clock, is always due south and in exactly the same place in the sky every day. It moves up and down versus, based on what time of year it is, what the month is, but it's always in the exact same direction. That's not actually true. It kind of wiggles from side to side. If you were to make a mark whenever it says noon on your clock, on a shadow on the ground, you don't actually make a straight line. What you end up doing is kind of making a bit of a figure 8 sort of pattern throughout the year. And that's different depending on where you are exactly on the surface of the earth. But the point is that it's not always exactly precise in terms of matching up with the numbers on your clock where the sun is at any time. So that is the nuclear fusion method for figuring out the time of day. And the last method for telling time, even in an environment where you've had an electromagnetic pulse, is a non-electronic wristwatch. This is one made by Seiko. I always forget how to say it. I think it's Seiko, actually. I would not recommend watches made by Seiko. I've had a number of them in the past, and they've all failed, and the company is really terrible, in my experience, with offering any kind of customer support if you ever have some kind of an issue, even if it's well within the warranty period. I've had these things where just the pendulum in the back kind of falls apart. I've had them where the second hand has fallen off, where the things just stop working, well within warranty. And there's always kind of like a game that the company plays where they suggest, oh, well, if only you had this extra piece of information, we would honor your warranty. At one point they told me that if I hadn't kept the original cardboard box packaging that they had sent it to me from so that I could read off which facility they'd sent it to me out of. They just wouldn't honor their warranty. And I assume even if I had that, there'd be other layers to prevent you from actually getting any customer service. I don't know, I assume some people have received customer service from Seiko in the past, but they've always figured out a way of wriggling out of it, even when it's well within warranty with me. So I wouldn't recommend these types of watches in particular, but this is the last one that I have, and at some point it's gonna just fall apart on my wrist. Watches like this can be useful for telling time. Now this one uses the swing of your arm to repower itself. There's other watches that you can just wind. That's like the old-fashioned kind of pocket watch. Now these types of things, they're not going to be as accurate over time as like a quartz crystal type of watch, but without any of the electronics, they're going to be a heck of a lot more accurate if there was an EMP and all the quartz crystal watches aren't working. In addition to that, I just think it's kind of neat that you power it off of the movement of your body. Again, it'd be an awful lot more cool if they were made better and didn't fall apart on your wrist. But yeah, that's another way of doing it, is non-electronic wristwatches. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any other tips, I'd love to hear what methods you like to use for telling time that doesn't require electronic devices. Please leave those down in the comments below, and thanks for watching. Hey YouTube preppers, if you enjoyed this video, here's another that I think you might like. But before you click on it, I wanted to take a moment to thank all the people you see on the right-hand side of your screen. They help to support all the work that I do here over at patreon.com. If you'd like to join them and get your name added to the list, the link's below.